Oh, hi. Welcome to Animated Anarchy. I'm the artist. You caught me in the middle of some house cleaning. You see, I have to get with the times and get rid of all my old VHS and DVDs to make way for the new video format that's sweeping the nation. BSDs. Yeah, they announced it during last month's Consumer Electronics Expo. Might have not heard about it because of all the iPad news. But hey, why would you want to get rid of all these classic VHS tapes anyway? I mean, I've never seen this movie on Blu-ray or DVD before. In fact, what is this? The Magic Voyage. Huh. Let's pop this sucker in and see what it's all about.
Please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? It's the blue sky. It's the blue sky.
From what I can collect, The Magic Voyage is a Bavarian production made in 1992, originally entitled The Adventures of Pico and Columbus, but didn't reach an international release until 1994 on VHS.
That's all the intro you're gonna get from me, so let's just dive right into this journey.
Oh my god, it's an Uwe Boll movie. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
A long time ago, people thought the world was flat. This may sound strange to us now, but in those days, no one knew what lay over the far horizon. What with pirates, and hurricanes, and sea monsters to contend with.
Because if you watched Pirates of the Caribbean, you know that pirates defy all laws of gravity.
But in 1492, there appeared an Italian navigator. He thought that the world was square.
That doesn't really improve on the whole falling off the edge of the world idea. I mean, if you theorize that the Earth is square, it's still freaking flat.
Anyhow, Mickey Rooney continues. These are his only lines, by the way, but that's enough to give him credit in the back of the box.
And his name was Christopher Columbus.
And instead of showing us, you know, the main character, we're greeted by some seagulls. No, these ones are much more annoying.
Turn the light down!
Whoa, the fish in my head! Oh, the life! Oh, whoa!
Okay, so after some seagull fun, we go to Christopher Columbus now. Whoops, just kidding, we're introduced to this. A woodworm named Pico, voiced by Corey Feldman. He was Donatello, you know.
Excellent! Yeah!
Like most classic animated movies, Pico starts off our jolly adventure with a song.
I used to be a bookworm. I sat up on the show.
A very short-lived song, thank goodness, but... okay, trying again.
I sat up on the show. I read about exotic lands. I yearned to see myself.
Wait, right, so... I'm confused. Is this a song?
Pico the Adventurer.
I do love songs with na-na-na-na-na-na. It's like they're openly mocking you in their own subtle little way.
You may have noticed that the lip sync is a bit off. Well, that's because this is a dub of an animated movie from Germany. Meaning we're in for some pretty interesting dubbing issues, one of which, being my favorite, improv.
Wow, nice secret. Put your head up. Pretty steep. Climb here. No big deal. I like it.
Luckily, this was made before the Shia LaBeouf School of Improv.
No.
Finally, we get to the real deal. Christopher Columbus, voiced by Dom DeLuise, who, while being the phenomenal talent that he is, I doubt he's ever said no to a voiceover role.
My map is sure stink.
Because I'm Italian, you know.
Excuse
Hey!
me.
Oh! You look you do to my...
Whoa!
Maybe the woman, she's around?
You got round out of that? I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, hey, little wormer guy, are you trying to tell me that the Earth is a square with a chewed off edges?
Of course it's round, blockhead. What do you think?
Wait. I need to stop here for a moment. So how the hell does this worm know about the world being round? At this point in time, no one has traveled to the New World and documented it yet, so I doubt he read it somewhere.
Hey, how does a woodworm get to be so smart?
I've eaten a lot of libraries.
Okay, so you're trying to tell us that a worm told Christopher Columbus that the world is round because he read it in a book? Suspension of disbelief destroyed.
Suspension of disbelief destroyed.
I know it's just a cartoon, but really, my bigger complaint is they probably could have come up with a more creative way for Columbus to think the world was round. I, Christopher Columbus, do believe that this world is made of a square.
Hey, mister, can we have our bowl back?
Moving on. Columbus talks a little history about Marco Polo, the man who traveled to the Indies by land, explaining that if his theory of the world being round is correct, he can travel the other way around and meet at the same destination.
I seriously hope that you're taking notes because I'll be passing out tests at the end of this review.
And so the next step. They're off to the king to get funding for their expedition.
I got the brains, but they got the money. Okay, Esto!
Oh boy, song cue.
And all because I met a fella like you.
All this time I kept ignoring that my life was so dull and boring and...
I really enjoy Feldman singing in this because he can really hit those high notes.
Happy as I am because the world she's now my clam.
I'm as happy as a fly when he sees me passing by.
Shut up, horse, you're not a part of this.
Hey, mister, don't forget about me. Grown-ups think the world's crummy. I'm just a kid.
Okay, why are all these random characters joining in the song as if they actually have a part in the story? After this song, you're gone. That's it. We'll never see you again. Thanks for the extra lyrics, though. This song ever so needed them. Okay, whatever. So we reach the king's castle, where apparently in the waiting room, the Industrial Revolution is being held.
No. If you say she flies, then she flies.
I'm afraid it's not quite ready.
Hello, Leonardo da Vinci?
You're ready. Ready?
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Leonardo da Vinci?
You know, I couldn't really care less.
Okay, so this is the king and his clearly not a villain advisor, and honestly, I'm not going to waste my time with this guy because after this scene, he's gone too. I mean, look at that guy. You'd think he'd be the villain of this story, but no. He serves no purpose, really.
But oh, I will tell you, when the real villain arises, you'll be in for a treat. I'm not going to spoil anything. You'll just have to wait.
The king is ready to kick him out of the castle until they're suddenly halted by the entrance of the queen, who openly starts flirting with Columbus right in front of her own husband. So he takes this opportunity to ask for the ships he needs to travel.
Spices, gold, jewelry.
Ooh, jewelry. And you need money, of course. Maybe this will help.
It will.
Yeah, sure, I could probably pawn this off for a couple of bucks or something. I mean, thank you, Your Majesty.
Not so fast. I just happen to know your compass is out of whack, Sailor Moon.
Got it.
Pico, it was you all the time.
I would have never have a guessed, seeing as you're such a pointless character in all of this. Well, we find out that Pico might actually pose some sort of actual development for himself, as while the Queen is flirting with Columbus like a cougar at a college dorm, Pico wanders out and notices a light in the nearby tower. Though, when he gets there, all he really does is this.
Hey, these are pretty cool. I look stupid. Whoa, oh, this is stupid. This is fun. This is stupid. This is stupid fun.
This movie is making all the obvious lines for me.
While he's there looking stupid, he meets up with Tinkerbell's big-headed cousin, some sort of firefly or glowing butterfly or I don't know.
It's a flying squirrel. Stupid. 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 Stupid.
Her name is Marilyn, voiced by Irene Cara, who exclaims that she's a princess of the moon sprites from...
Land of Blue Twilight.
Yeah, that's it. Blue Twilight.
Ours was a land of beauty and enchantment, of silver waterfalls and crystal rivers, with perfumed flowers spread like a rainbow carpet. We flew on the warm and gentle breezes.
Where it rains candy gumdrops every Friday, and we lay upon the kitten-filled grass as we watch episodes of Sex and the City.
She goes on to say that her kingdom was overrun by an evil creature who wants the power of her magic. What that magic is not explained, but until she does, she's banished to live in the chandelier of this Italian castle. Look, I don't know. She's a princess in peril. That's all you really need to go with. So Pico, brave as he is, eventually ends up helping her escape.
You can't fly.
Okay, come on.
Nah, that didn't happen. But as they escape, it doesn't take long for some nearby guards to spot them, and they attack.
Wait, give her back.
You know, I would love to listen to this noise all day, but I actually would like to hold on to some form of audible sanity, thank you.
The swarm! The swarm! We must get the swarm!
Alright, still wondering who the villain of this movie is? There you are. Yep, he's an evil mass of insects with a face on it, voiced by Dan Haggerty. I can't make this stuff up if I tried, people.
What did you say to me, you little worm?
Oh, there, Helen. I'll find you. All the way across the ocean.
Well, lest we forget that this movie is about Christopher Columbus and his venture into the New World, we cut to next morning, where Columbus is ready for his magical voyage on the Santa Maria. So Pico rushes off to the ship before it casts off, making sure that every action is littered with improv dialogue along the way.
All this flying, I should start my own airline. Wait, I'll be there in no time at all. I'm gonna be wait, I'm a worm. I can't swim.
You know, not to cut into this riveting action, but somewhere in between all this, Pico meets up with some rats in the sewers.
No thanks, I'm dying.
As I listen to these characters converse, I can't help but feel like I'm just fighting with my own inner demons because everyone talks over each other.
I feel like I have some sort of voice in my head telling me to do things as I both listen and talk at the same time. What was that? Kill myself? Well, if I insist.
No, I have to keep going. So they prepare to set sail. Some rats get on board. Columbus checks out his globe, which is still a freaking square. And Pico catches the next bird over to the ship, where he meets with these rats who are leaving the ship. Pico tells them they can't leave the ship. Why?
If the crew says you're leaving, then they'll mutiny.
Who cares?
Yeah, so? I think the crew would be happy to know that their ship isn't rat-infested.
But if you leave now, you'll never get to the land of the big cheese.
Big cheese!
I am the cheese. I am the best character on the show.
Well, that's enough to get back on board. Pico is reunited with his friend, and he explains the situation about his sudden girlfriend, Marilyn. But outside, the crew of the ship is already growing suspicious of their captain's sanity. Can't say I blame him.
What did I tell you? He's crazy. Now, he's kissing the little worm. A little what?
And now he's stroking the little worm's hair. Now he's laying the little worm to bed. And now he's... oh God, this is disgusting. Bring the camera.
Time passes, briefly, as life on the ship already seems to be getting a little more tense. The crew begins to have their doubts about the voyage, showing some rather subtle signs of mutiny. Finding out the crew is restless, Columbus comes up with a way to brighten their spirits through song.
We got cabin fever with flipping our bandanas. Been stuck at sea so long that we have simply gone bananas.
No, not really. Instead, we get something like this.
Oh, the life to sea is a life for me. No love, the land of me. La 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 la.
Oh, I started this song with some lyrics off the top of my head. La 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 do do do.
Throughout the song, Columbus sings about some other famous explorers of the sea, like the Romans, Vikings, etc., etc. Just something to try and heighten up the spirits and get the crew's minds off of the whole end of the world thing. But honestly, this song is just more of a reason to develop some scurvy.
Oh God. Oh, I got seasick.
The song takes a turn for the worse as Columbus finishes off his final lyrics.
Of travelers who feared they reached the edge, but long before a serpent came and ate him up instead. Yes.
Well, that was awkward, but the song must have done something because, really, nobody cares about the mutiny anymore. No one even mentions it again, nor is it even suggested. Instead, we're revisited by Movie B, where Pico dreams of his lost love.
Oh, this is great. Orbiting above the earth with the girl of my dreams. Literally.
This is so great. I love announcing aloud self-explanatory imagery. Even Columbus has a dream, I guess. Columbus, what are you doing?
Sir, I demand you stop this instant.
I mean, I know you had that brief love affair with that queen back there, and holy Magilla!
Ah, quick, cut to anything before this dream gets any wetter.
Oh, good. A cold shower. Okay. We get it. It's stormy. When I said cut to anything, I didn't mean for this long. Seriously, we can stop now. Is this a metaphor for something? End the scene! Oh, that was nuts.
Nuts!
But finally, we've reached that land we've all been hoping for. Psych! Really had you going there. We still have lots more movie to go through.
Much more movie.
Boys, let's not get carried away.
Well, I think it's safe to say the effects of that last song wore off as the crew begins to hang Columbus in what seems to be a rather surprisingly grim visual passed off for comedy.
Hey, I see land. Look! Over there!
You know, scenes cut off so abruptly throughout this mess, I don't see why I need to mention this, but I might as well anyway, seeing as it's so odd not to mention. Meanwhile, in the dinghy, named appropriately for its contents, the rats have a little intervention.
I say, we go back. What for? Well, I feel kind of bad about how mean we've been to that little woodwork guy.
Are you seriously trying to make this pointless character have a moment? I mean, what possible connection do you have with this rat that he needed to somehow suddenly stop and think that he was being such a bad guy all this time?
He didn't even have that much screen time. And even though he's in the rest of the movie, he still does nothing for it. Obviously, this stuff isn't working well enough.
Hey, wait a minute. That's no storm cloud.
Yeah, remember? We had a villain. So, whatever, now we have to deal with this crap.
Stand down. Destroy that ship!
So the ship is attacked, or pushed rather, toward an island, and the action is completely halted so that we may bask in the glory of Columbus's famous words when he reaches the New World.
I, whoever I am, claim this land in the name of, what's her name?
Hooray, Columbus! Hooray, hooray!
Made it, boys! I told you not to worry. Everything God be. Oh!
Huh. He had a heart attack. Cue the end credits. Oh, castor oil. Damn it. Is it still not over?
Whatever. We head over to the Mayan temple, where Marilyn is heckled by the swarm a bit.
Nothing is impossible, princess. Oh, yes.
Is it wrong of me to think that whenever this thing shows up, this song comes to mind?
Slime beneath me, slime up above. You love my toxic love.
Cut to Pico, dead. We're greeted by... Seriously? We're this far in and we have to introduce another freaking character?
Bob the Beaver. Are you hungry? I got wood. Boy, do I got wood.
Stop giving me a reason to do innuendo jokes.
Woo! Thanks, Bob. I needed that.
Skipping all of the beaver's backstory, Pico, two of the rats, and sometimes the seagull all start to head off to the Mayan temple to face off with the swarm in a final battle. So Columbus...
Anyway, Columbus joins as well.
Nice to meet you. That'll go over big someday.
Scooby-Doo! Where are you?
Eventually they reach the top, Columbus being the comedy relief of the group, only to find out the honeycomb hideout inside.
Bees, my god.
Of course, and so starts our final battle. As erratic as these scenes may be, Pico climbs up to the top and reaches his girl to have a moment.
Sorry, my nose is kind of big.
That was somehow appropriate, because the atmosphere certainly demanded it.
What a day! Enough of gold to make the king and queen a complete set of dinnerware for 12!
You know that's honey, right? I don't see any dad-blasted gold, sir.
Will you get the gold? Okay. I get to the party and... Wow!
What's this? An intruder?
Are you serious?
You're telling me that with those millions of eyes in that tornado of insects that involve you, you didn't see the guy right in plain sight climbing your honeycomb tower? Ladies and gentlemen, will you please excuse me a moment?
Pico rescues his lover, the beaver chews through the base of the tower, the swarm lights on fire, and Columbus falls onto the swarm with the gold disc, squishing it entirely.
Yuck!
The temple collapses, the cast flows through the waterfall on a log, Pico attempts to rescue Marilyn, but misses, but she comes back anyway, so pointless scene is pointless, and they live all happily ever after, right? Right?
You've stolen our idol, destroyed our sacred temple, and you've made squishy with the swarm. How can we ever thank you?
The world, she's around, and I couldn't have done it without you. One day, there's going to be a big city right here, and there's going to be a lot of people, tall buildings. Maybe they're going to name something after us. Who knows? Columbus Circle sounds good to me.
Finally. I'm beginning to suspect why people are getting rid of their VHS tapes.
This movie has so much... nothing. We're introduced to so much nonsense that surrounds the main concept that it ends up making a mesh of confusion as to why anything is happening. Characters that have nothing to do with the plot show up and disappear without care. There's no real story focus, and the characters constantly talk over each other with ridiculous and annoying improv. But I do have to give this movie some credit, though. While all the other studios were riding on the success of Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid, this at least was something different.
And honestly, if it had one main focus and got rid of all that weird filler, it could have worked. But that's still not saying much because it is a damn stupid movie. But it's over, and that's good enough for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some cleaning I still have to do. Pull!
That was gross. I hated that tree. Not.
How very nice for you. Where's all the garbage?